Just like God cared and remembered and was aware of Mary, God cares and remembers and is aware of you. You're sitting here in this room this morning, and maybe a question that's floating around in your mind is, God, are you really aware of this event that's going to happen in my life? God, are you really aware of the condition that I'm in? God, are you really aware of the burdens that are pulling me down and I can't sleep at night, and the stress and the strain and the brokenness and the frustration, the agony? Are you aware? Are you mindful? Do you know? Do you care? Listen, Mary found out she was going to be pregnant as a virgin. In that culture, Deuteronomy 22 says you stone people who are pregnant outside of marriage. God put her in a pretty tough spot. The Bible says that Mary was engaged to Joseph. And Joseph knew he had no part with this pregnancy. And Joseph thought he was going to do what? Divorce her. God put her in a cultural tough spot. God put her in a relationship tough spot. What do you think her dad said to her? Maybe she took off to go to Elizabeth's house for 3 months because she didn't want to have to tell people what was going on. God put her in a tough spot, a spot where she was going to be ridiculed, made fun of, mocked, said that she had an illegitimate child, say that she wasn't faithful to her fiancé Joseph. Because the Bible makes it pretty clear there's privileges of marriage, but they're supposed to stay in the bonds of marriage, right? And a privilege of marriage is a sexual relationship that's not supposed to happen until there's the bonds of marriage. And so they're looking at this, they're saying, what's going on, Mary? And the Facebook posts start popping up, and people start tweeting and Snapchatting and Instagramming, and look what Mary did. Another person, look what this, look what that. And God puts her in, and here she is. She's going into a very challenging, difficult, hard situation. And her song to God is, God, you were aware, God, you cared, and God, you remembered me. You have been mindful of me. If I listen to the song of your heart, is the song of your heart one that's declaring how mindful God is of you? The peace and the trust and the rest that you get to experience because God is aware of you, that God is conscious and caring and remembering of you on an intimate level, that he knows you as his child. And you're not walking through life alone, and you're not bearing burdens that God's saying, I'll help you with that. And you're not carrying grudges and bitterness and anger and resolve that God's saying, I'll help you forgive that. And you're not facing a situation where God says, I'll help you persevere through it. That's God's promises, and that's what we get to see. Mary understood it. He said, God, you've been mindful. I think a lot of people, if they were aware of how mindful God was, if they were aware of how intimately connected God wanted to be with them, if they understood the relationship that was standing there for them to receive, they would probably take it up. They would trust. They would believe. They would embrace that. But they aren't aware of those things. They don't understand. They think they have to do it all themselves.